Social impact startups strive to devise solutions for significant global challenges, whether combating food waste or crafting environmental impact solutions to tackle the climate crisis. The innovations of these companies contribute to shaping a more promising future. And ready on the line to discuss about startup horizons on how to navigate social impact challenges, we welcome Ahmad Azwar Zainuddin, the CEO of Satu Creative. I want to say thank you very much, Azwar, for joining us. Maybe we can start with what are the specific social or environmental issues does Malaysia startup aim to address, and how well do they understand the root causes of this problem?
Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Awani, for having me. When we look at the programs that we run with startups, especially those that are in the space of impact-driven space, a lot of startups are actually looking at tackling a broad range of issues. This includes economic as well as social issues. If we look at the economic issues, for example, startups that we work with, especially in East Malaysia, in Sabah, as well as in Sarawak, they are looking at addressing issues such as inequality of economic development, as well as looking at fixing the market gap when it comes to the community in terms of income generation, income of job creation. These startups are also looking at environmental issues. Especially, we see this more in Peninsular Malaysia, where we have more technology-driven startups. These startups, for instance, look at tackling issues, anything ranging from waste management, looking at reducing the impact of climate change, as well as looking at energy transition. So we've seen quite a number of these early-stage startups. There's definitely a lot of interest, and definitely I would encourage more initiatives and programs to assist the startups, especially when we look at the value that they bring to the market when it comes to addressing issues such as economic and environment.
Azwar, how does innovation in technology and generative AI play a role in achieving the social impact objectives?
Indeed, artificial intelligence or AI is definitely a hot topic at the moment. A lot of attention are being placed towards this, as well as other technologies such as EV, as well as automation and data analytics. So when we look at how the technology comes into play, it actually improves the scale and efficiency of these startups in addressing issues that exist, whether locally or beyond. So when we look at this, one of them is improve efficiency, as I was mentioning. Other than that, it also allows for more personalized and targeted solutions. If you look at before my stock came in, I saw the government is using Padu, for example. We see how technology can actually change and I guess improve how the delivery of the solutions are being addressed. At the same time, it also allows for more engagement with the community that these startups are looking to address. Through technology, they can able to generate better communication, better engagement, more, I guess, dynamic in terms of how they deliver the solution that they've created for issues such as environment and economy.
And how do you measure and track your social impact metrics, and what steps to take to ensure the accuracy and transparency of these measurements?
All right. When looking at a measurement in general, I think it's important for us to start measuring. So, of course, there are more advanced tools using applications and solutions, but at the same time, it's important to sort of take a step back and look at what is the impact that we are hoping to generate. So in this instance, for example, if a startup is looking at addressing, reducing inequality, perhaps they can look at measuring the baseline of what is the income that's currently being generated, what are these community that trying to assist is doing at the moment, are they creating new jobs, has they seen improvement in terms of income that's being generated, as well as looking at the broader sense as well in terms of are they creating value chain in local communities. So when we're looking at measurement, there's no one size fits all, but it's very important to include measurement as you design the solution that you want to bring to the market. We, for instance, propose a very human-centered approach to measurement, meaning that rather than a top-down, it's very important that we engage the community that we are trying to assist, and from then on design customized bespoke solution and create it into a repeatable and scalable solution that allow the startups to scale and grow, and perhaps attract from their investors, impact investors, to come on board and support them.
Definitely talking about sustainability is a long term. So what strategies should be in place to ensure that social impact efforts are sustainable and not just short-term solutions?
Very good question, Lina. This comes back to how we look at the design of the program. There are tools, for instance, like logic framework, theory of change, which look at the input that is being brought in into a specific project, and then looking at what are the output, and then on we look at the longer term result, which is outcomes, which may not relate to specifically the output that the startup generated, but takes larger, broader macroeconomic influences to the outcome. But then again, this startup needs to be dynamic, be able to decide whether to persevere or pivot the solution according to the need that they are looking to address. Of course, the only constant is obviously change. So it's important for startups to be able to be flexible, as well as anticipate changes so that they're able to customize their solution so that it meets the demand of the market, the product, market fit, for instance.
And how actively do we have to involve the affected community in the development and implementation of your solutions, and what steps to take to ensure all of their voices are heard?
It is very important. So from the offset, before we design any program or any solutions for that matter, we encourage startups to begin with empathy. This comes in discovering the need, not just the external need, but internal needs of a community. This comes from observation. This comes from interviewing them. This comes from actually going down to the ground and immerse yourself in the areas that you're looking to address. So only then you're able to come up and generate ideas and generate solutions that meets the demands rather than being a product that's looking for a market. It's very important that there's a demand for the market, and you only achieve that through applying empathy to these issues at hand.
And what are the challenges or ethical dilemmas encountered in the social impact work, and how have you addressed or mitigate them?
I think there are challenges, of course. First things, we see this when we run programs. There is the ethical dilemma of between empowerment as well as dependency, for instance, right? So this is where we need to balance the design and structure of a solution so that, for instance, it is not focused on grants per se, but also look at developing the capacity of the community that we are assisting, providing them with the necessary market access, as well as providing support through mentoring, which not only inject belief in them, but also able to connect them, especially when you're looking at communities that are on the margins, to bring them towards the center so that they can actually improve themselves and simultaneously from there help their communities and bring about economic, social change, environmental change to the areas that we are targeting.
And how do you balance the need for financial sustainability with your social impact goals? And what steps are you taking to ensure long-term viability?
All right, that is another interesting question, Lina. So looking at in terms of financial viability, I think it's important for businesses, first and foremost, to be resilient and adaptive. And looking at, making necessary changes and tweaks rather than being sort of hardwired, and this is how I want to do things, but look at it in a more adaptable manner in how they can tackle, how they can sustain, at the same time generate value. The other part is, of course, looking at collaboration. Collaboration is a game changer for many early stage startups. By looking at partnership, they're able to build on, work together with organizations that have complementary skill sets, but shares the vision. So beyond that as well, I think, of course, a lot of it is hard work, design, branding, getting the word out there is important for viability, because how can people support you if they are not even aware that you exist? So in this instance, these three components of innovative business model, collaborative approach, as well as being able to tell your stories, to build your brand and narrative so that it resonates with those with economic ability to support these impact-driven startups so that they in turn can support the community.
And how can we look at partnerships and collaborations with other organizations and how they contribute to achieving the social impact objectives?
Yes, I think that's a very interesting question because the world is shifting towards more, I guess, empathy and care towards the environment, toward community. And we see before this, Nina, you came on and we come on air, you were discussing about Bursa and all that. There is a lot of push towards ESG. So this also brings about a lot of opportunity for startups, especially those in impact-driven area, to engage with corporates and look at how they can collaborate and work together, because obviously this large organization would have a lot of resource, whether they're in terms of skills or in terms of financial, but at the same time the startups especially close to the community, they are there, they understand the root cause, they are able, the fact that they desire their solutions are focused on tackling these issues mean that they are in a good position to address these issues, and working collaboratively allow us to scale our impact, enhance the value that we bring to the community, and that in turn hopefully will lead to more sustainable impact and value that ultimately will benefit everybody.
And how adaptable is the business model to changing social and environmental landscapes? And how can we plan to evolve with emerging challenges and even opportunities?
All right. Looking at that, we have to be adaptive. We must keep abreast. A lot of development, for instance, earlier in the interview, it was mentioned about artificial intelligence, but in the coming futures, there are a lot of new technologies that are coming on board. So for startups out there, I would encourage you to keep abreast on the changes, keep on learning, look at, I guess, platforms where you can discuss with organizations that are like-minded so that you can actually adopt emerging as well as best practices that will allow you to keep in touch, keep in tune with the changes that are happening around the world. At the same time, not lose sight of the focus of why you begin to exist in the first place, which is the impact that you are hoping to generate.
All right, maybe my last questions. We have a balance of 1 minute. What steps do you take to ensure that organization maintains a diverse and inclusive approach in both its internal operation and external impact initiatives? What is your projection for the social impact startup growth for 2024?
All right. I have 1 minute. So to start with, I think internally, it's always good to have clear policies that are published, transparent, where everybody can see in terms of your diversity and inclusion. Externally, this comes in a point where bringing the external party to engage with them in a transparent manner, to share the value and impact, your mission, your purpose, as well as the impact that you generate. I think for moving forward to 2024, I'm very optimistic that I think over the years we have grown, we have matured as a startup ecosystem, and I believe there's a lot of exciting news coming from the startup community, and I hope Awani can provide a platform for my peers to cover and share about the progress that we've made as impact-driven startups.
All right, that is an interesting share on the startup horizons on how to navigate the social impact challenges. I want to say thank you very much to our guest, Ahmad Azwar Zainuddin, the CEO of Satu Creative.